Yo guys, welcome back to Cryptoria. Today I'm going to be covering Arpa Chain, but before I do, I'll appreciate if you like, subscribe and turn on bell notifications so you know when I upload. And with that being said, let's get into this video. So guys, yes, another video on Arpa Chain, but this video I have to bring it out guys, as you guys can see, and if you already know, Arpa Chain is at an all new time high. So I have to make this video just to give you an update in terms of where I see price going to, in terms of where price is heading to, and to show you how accurate I was in that previous video I did make. So if you do want to learn more about Arpa Chain guys, go ahead and check out my first video I ever made on Arpa Chain. I have made a couple by now, so if you do want to check out what Arpa Chain exactly does, go ahead and check out my first video. So guys, I have jumped straight onto CoinMarketCap just to give you an insight of what it's doing. So it is in the top 300, as you guys can see. In terms of price, it has jumped down 6.7% over the last 24 hours, currently circulating just over that 16 cent mark. Current market cap is just over 182 million. Circulating volume is just underneath that 600 million. So I don't think this is exactly accurate. As you guys can see, circulating volume is more than the market cap, so don't quote me on that. So that is what it is in the moment. In terms of the chart, as you guys can see, it is at the moment, and as you guys can see, it did have an all-time high back in 2020 around that 4 cent mark, and recently, as you guys can see, it surged all the way up past that 13 cent mark, past that 16 cent mark, as you guys can see, and did go all the way down there. But I will show you more about this in a bit guys. So guys, I will be jumping onto the price analysis now. So guys, yes, whatever's been waiting for, the price analysis. So guys, just before I even start this video, I want to put a quick screenshot right now. As you guys can see, this is what I predicted in the last video. So this was a couple of months ago, in fact, of what I predicted. So guys, I have drawn out again here. So as you guys can see, away from that screenshot, as you guys can see, comparing it to what I did predict. From here, as you guys can see, I literally drew out the same line. I did say around here to about the all-time high, around that 12 cent mark. But as you guys can see, it completely surged across that, a 400% gain since that last video towards that high around that 20 cent mark, around that region. So guys, if you picked it up there, congratulations, and hopefully you guys, taking some profits out by now as well. As you guys can see, it has gone all the way past this. There is no more data towards the left in which you can see, so make sure you please take out some profits here as well, and just keep a lot on the side to either buy back onto the dips, or just keep a hold of in terms of the long term. So as you guys can see, that is what I drawn out again. So jumping onto monthly again guys, so as you guys can see, what I did predict last time, that Fibonacci played out pretty exact. In fact, it did. Unfortunately, it did have a fake out around that 78.6, so it didn't really maintain that Fibonacci completely, but it did create that level of support around that level, around that 3 cent mark, before creating a level of bullish candles ever since then. So as you guys can see, back in July, there was those bullish candles, that support being formed around then as well, and then ever since then has been very bullish. In fact, this month alone has been very bullish, as with other altcoins as well. So as you guys can see, it had to create that level of support around that 61.8 level, around that 7 cent mark, before going above beyond these resistance level around where that all-time high was, around that 15 cent 13 cent mark, before going all the way up, completing that nice Fibonacci towards that 1.272 level, 1.141 level. So the Fibonacci pretty much played out perfectly. In fact, especially in long term and monthly time frames, Fibonacci really does play out really well, especially in a high time frame. Jumping onto monthly again, as you guys can see, I did draw out this trend line here. It does seem to be maintained this level. As you guys can see, it did touch twice. I don't ever see it going back down. If it does go back down, it will be back down to these supports here. As you guys can see, I did mark out these supports around the 7 cent mark. If I did extend this, as you guys can see, it would have touched that 7 cent mark. But as you guys can see, this is what I'm predicting in terms of what's going to be happening. As you guys can see, this month alone has been very bullish, so just expect a retracement. People obviously are going to take out profits as well, as it did break all-time highs, so just expect a bit of a retracement. So I do expect this sort of to plan out in the next couple of months or so, in a couple of weeks or so. I have draws on a monthly just to give you a more of a clear insight on what it's going to show, but this is what I think is going to happen. So as you guys can see, if the month ends like this, I see the next month being a bearish month, and the next month after that as well, just so it maintains the retracement, so it makes it much more clear and clean as well in terms of the price prediction. So that is what I think, guys. So I think a bit of a retracement back down to these sort of levels. As you guys can see, the resistance level here around that 12-cent mark. Hopefully what it does then, it creates that level of support around that 61.8 level before going back up to breaking those highs again, and then going towards an all new time high is what I'm thinking, guys. In terms of weekly, as you guys can see, I've drawn out these two trend lines. So as you guys can see, it has maintained this trend line quite a lot, and it has created loads of supports alongside that as well. So I don't think it ever is going to hit back down to those lows again. If it does, guys, it will create much more stronger support level, and it'll give you more of a confidence that the price will go back up to these highs as well. So it has broken this trend so clearly and broken above all these resistances ever since. As you guys can see, this resistance level was broken by this week, this resistance was broken by the same week, this resistance was broken by this week alone. So just be aware of that as well, guys. As you guys can see, this was broken, and this was broken around these key levels of resistances, and very strong level of resistances as well. So just expect a bit of a retracement back down. Even this week might even end in a bearish candle. Just be aware of that, guys. But as you guys can see, even last week alone, it did spike up all the way to around that 16-cent mark where it is. But then this week, as you guys can see, it did smash through that all-time high and then go up to a new all-time high. So that is what I think in terms of the weekly. Jumping onto the daily, have jumped onto a Fibonacci again. As you guys can see, it did retrace back again perfectly around that 61.8 level before growing up and up and up in those daily candles. So as you guys can see today, in fact, it has started off bearish. So what it might do again is either go back down towards these levels here, create those level of support before going back up to an all-time high. But this is on a daily, guys, so that is what I think as well. Even here, guys, as you guys can see, I did draw out these trend lines here, has maintained this trend line here and this one here. As you guys can see, it did break out completely, very bullish on this day. From this trend line has completely broken out, hasn't even touched this trend line ever since. So just be aware of this trend line here. So if I do extend it, it might come down to around that 10-cent level or 11-cent level before going back up as well. Jumping onto my final chart, guys, so it is on a 4-hour time frame. So if you guys do trade, you know, on a day trading sort of level, this is what I think is happening. So as you guys can see, ever since the all-time high around that 20-cent level, it has been very bearish. As you guys can see, creating this level of supports over here, breaking it, and as you guys can see, this 4-hour seems to be breaking this level of support here as well. So what I see happening, guys, is either going back down towards this major trend line drawn out here before either breaking it, retesting and completely breaking it back down to these lows around that 7-cent, 8-cent level, or either touching it and then create a level of support, as you guys can see around here, before going back up towards the highs again. So these are two scenarios which I think on the short term, as you guys can see. But just be aware, guys, there is major, you know, support and resistance levels around here as well. So guys, that is what I think about Arpa. I think I've been pretty accurate in terms of what I see price was going to. So hopefully this plays out again as I predict. So guys, let me know what you guys think about this prediction and all my other predictions. Well, let me know what your predictions are as well, guys. I'm always keen to see what you guys think about the future of this project as well. So guys, I'll end the video here. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on bell notification for all future videos. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video.